Well, good Sunday afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Baton Rouge, the Pete Maravich Assembly Center, as we get set for the final game here in the Baton Rouge Regional of the NCAA Women's Tournament. We are joined by some familiar names with LSU. To my immediate left, Anissa Morrow. In the middle, Flau'jae Johnson. And to the far left is Michaela Williams. LSU set to take on Florida State tomorrow night, 5 Central, here in Baton Rouge. So we will do as we always do, open up the floor to questions for the players. We'll bring a microphone to you. Please raise your hand, introduce yourself, and which player you are addressing your question to. And with that, we're glad you're here. Let's go. We'll open up the floor to questions.
Chessa Boucher with NBC 33 here in Baton Rouge. For all three of you, they have kind of a big three as well. Y'all are the big three, but they have a big three that also, as being competitors, facing somebody like that, how much does it fire you up to kind of prove that you are the big three?
First of all, we don't have to prove anything. You know, we're blessed to be 3 All-Americans on one team. That's not really heard of ever. So we ain't really focus on that. And we don't even focus on us as a big three. Like, our goal is not to be the big three. Like I said the other day, our goal is to be the big 8. Like, we're trying to get everybody else to buy in on another level. So, but, I mean, it's always dope to play great people. And, you know, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Obviously, they have the leading scorer in the nation on their team. And so, but we just got to be us, and we just got to be solid.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Coming in and just trying to play your roles in the game every night, be as dominant as you could be. And my goal is to go in there and dominate. I'm pretty sure their goal is to go in there and dominate, and that's the whole team goal. I know the coaches did a great job with the scouting report this morning. We just sat down and watched that, so just preparing for that.
And I think to piggyback off of them, we don't really have any exterior motivation. Everything is interior, so we're motivated to dominate. Like Nee said, we want to dominate these games and even make it further than we did last year.
This can be for either of you. We can start with Flau'jae. What does Florida State, I guess, in that scouting report, what do they do well?
Yeah, man, they're a great team. They can push the pace. Like I said, they're long, athletic, play really well on defense. So, you know, we're going to have to bring our A game, of course. We don't look past anybody, and it's kind of like last year, well, not last year, like championship year. We played Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? They was all right, but then we played Michigan, and they were a tougher opponent. You know what I'm saying? And even last year, we had Rice, and then we had Mississippi. Yeah, them girls. So, Middle Tennessee. And so we know that the play is going to be harder, and it's a different team, different game. So you really got to lock in on that scouting report. And I think we're going to help everybody that's in our position on the details.
Yeah, I would say just from scouting report, just control the controllables. Don't turn the ball over, take care of the ball, rebound. Of course, and execute our offense. When we could do that, they're not able to get the transition points that they do very well at getting, and also getting points off turnovers as well.
Yeah, they pretty much said it all. So for us, just really following the scouting report and executing it well in the game.
Hey there, Brett Martell with AP. This one's probably for the 2 guards. I'm not sure which one, but who gets to defend Tanaya? And what do you think of that challenge? Can it be a one-on-one kind of deal, or is it going to have to be a group effort?
A group effort for sure. Tanaya lesson requires 5 LSU players to guard her. So obviously, like Flau'jae will start out on her, but all 5 need to be ready and help, ready to take those charges, ready to be ready when she kicks the ball out. So all 5 LSU players are going to have to be ready to guard her.
Yeah.
Hello, Tina Esparza, USA Today. Kind of building off that, to all of y'all, what just makes Tanaya so hard to defend? And Flau'jae, you played against her in high school. Can you speak anything to that and her game and how it's grown?
Yeah, I think she moves her body well. Like, she's not the quickest player, but she knows how to get to her spots. She's gonna get that shot up regardless, and I think she knows how to use her body well. Playing her in high school, I knew she was a good defender as well. So, you know, in college, I wasn't really surprised to see her doing what she's doing, especially on that team. So, she's a great player. And it's just like when we played great players in the past, you know, are we going to because you can't stop a player like that. Obviously, she's the leading scorer, and nobody can stop her at this point, right? But it's like we can't let everybody else go off, and we just kind of got to contain her.
Is there a team that you guys faced earlier in the season that are similar to this team that you would kind of compare, and how do you get ready to face them, especially in round 2?
I feel like they give me like Kentucky vibes because they lean.
Gets A more, yeah.
Yeah,
A more.
Tennessee.
They're long and athletic, so
And they can run the floor.
Yeah,
But
good
I would say,
guards.
like, I remember when we kind of learned how to play with length in Kentucky. Like, you see, we had like a first quarter. We were trying to figure out how do we gonna make the lay, how we gonna, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would say that's that kind of vibe, just as far as the length and athleticism. But definitely Tennessee, the same pace.
Hi, Chelsea with ESPN 1045. This is for Flaw. I saw you sitting crisscross applesauce before a game, and y'all mentioned inside and locking in. Are you meditating, and can you tell us a little bit about locking in and moving from that space to execute?
Yeah. When I'm meditating on the baseline, I'm trying to visualize and be present. So it's just a form of meditation and trying to clear my mind. I feel like I had a lot of time to, just think about how I can be more present for my team. And I was just asking a lot of staff, asking everybody, like, what do you do to be present? Because I'm trying to figure out how to get there. And I feel like Michaela said, we don't have exterior motivation. Like, everything's inside. So I think when you play like that and your competition is yourself, I just try to kind of focus more and dial in.
Reed Darcy, the advocate. Michaela, y'all mentioned the Kentucky game, and if I'm remembering correctly, I believe in the second half you took up a lot of the ball handling, like lead initiating type of responsibilities. So what has allowed you to really add that to your game and do it more consistently now in the back half of the season?
Mm-hmm. I think first off, just my teammates and the coaches pouring that confidence in me to be able to take over a game when I need to. I think in that point in time we were going down and I just didn't want to lose, so I was just trying to do whatever I could to keep us in a game at that point, because I knew eventually Nice and Flage and the rest of the team, they was going to come on, and then in the second half you saw that Flage came out smoking, Nice came out smoking. Like, I'm just keeping us in the game, so when they're ready to play, now we're all guns blazing.
For both the guards, how much fun was it last night to play such unselfish basketball?
I mean, that's the LSU type of basketball we try to play. Just seeing that we're passing the ball and everybody's getting theirs, everybody's eating, everybody's making shots. It's fun when everybody's scoring. It's fun when you can keep the crowd involved. So it was really fun.
Yeah, I'm still watching the highlights. No cap. Just this one play. We practice, like, this is what we practice. Like, we practice it, and I think everybody is just like, you can see folks on screen like, no, pass it there. Like, you know what I'm saying? And just whoever take the best shot, whoever get the best shot. I just think it helps everybody. It's not like, and then it's like, it's easier for us to beat teams because you can't just dial in and think, oh no, she just gonna come off the screen and take the shot. No, she might pass it, she might leg whip, she might corner. So I think that just makes us much more dominant. And I think, it took all season for us to realize that. But I feel like we understand it at the perfect time. And I feel like everybody just happy for each other. Like, everybody want everybody to win. So, you got to shout out players like Miracle. You got to shout out players like KG, Jada, Jersey coming off the bench, Lily coming off the bench, Shy shooting the ball crazy. I think everybody's finding their role and their niche. And we're just helping each other be great.
Time for one more. Go ahead.
How important is it for y'all to play with pace, and are y'all expecting kind of a track meet tomorrow night?
Yeah, I would say it's very important. I always talk to them about controlling the tempo. Majority of the time, the team that controls the tempo win the game. When you're able to dominate defensively or control how the ball is pushed in transition as well.
Good. Ladies, thank you very much for your time. Good luck tomorrow night. We'll see you tomorrow night. Quick turnaround. We'll have head coach Kim Mulkey joining us here in just a couple of minutes. And we welcome you back to Baton Rouge, joined by LSU head coach Kim Mulkey. As always, please raise your hand. Bring a microphone to you. If you've joined us via Zoom, welcome to Baton Rouge. Put your hand up on the icon. We'll come to you. With that, let's open up the floor for questions for head coach Kim Mulkey.
Chesson Boucher with NBC 33 here in Baton Rouge. Two teams that play very similar brand of basketball, defensively like to score the basketball. What do you expect to see tomorrow night?
I would expect you're going to see a lot of scoring, and hopefully the team that plays just a little bit of defense wins, because I'm a defensive coach. So you got a lot of powerful players on both teams. They can all score the ball, and what are they, third in the country in scoring, and we're like sixth. That's a lot of shots.
Jack Schemmel with WBRZ here in Baton Rouge. What does Florida State do well offensively?
Get the ball to Latson, and then you converge on her, and then she throws it to somebody else and makes them look great. They're balanced. You know, they got 4 kids that score in double figures. They score in the 80s. You think the 3-ball is what makes them go, and they do score about 8 a game. But it's their dribble penetration that creates a lot of things. They're so long. They're athletic. They're a handful. And if you think about their schedule, they beat Notre Dame on the road. Stanford, I think, beat them, but they beat Georgia Tech on the road. They beat 3 ranked teams in the ACC on the road. So that tells you that they're pretty confident and very talented.
Hi, Coach. Tatum Esparza, USA Today. So last night you got the opportunity to watch a little bit of the FSU game, and Tanaya Watson just found the lane every single time. Is there anything that you can speak to her about how hard she is to defend and what makes her so great?
Well, she gets to the foul line 9 times a game. Not only does she score the ball, she usually is trying to get in ones and get you in foul trouble. I think she got to the foul line 14 or 15 times last night. So she's not just scoring the ball. The way she gets shots off, she leans into you. She tries to draw fouls. So we'll have multiple people that'll, have the assignment to guard her.
Natalie Heverin with the Next. FSU is a team that thrives on second chance points from offensive rebounding. How important is it going to be to rebound collectively tomorrow night?
I think you better go look at our rebounding. I think we're just a little bit better than they are in that category. And I hope that is an advantage for us. Certainly they rebounded, but if I looked at the stats correctly, that might be a little area that if we can keep them off the offensive boards and rebound the ball, help Morrow, I want to say they out-rebound their opponents by 1 every game. Ours is about 12. So that's an area that doesn't concern me as much as trying to figure out how to stop those kids from scoring the ball, because they can all flat out score it.
Hey, Coach. Taylor Viles, WCTV in Tallahassee. Do you have any sort of relationship with Coach Brooke Wyckoff?
I do not. Been a great admirer of hers when she played. I know a little bit of her history of cancer, battling cancer, and I know that she was under Sue when Semrau was a coach there, and she's doing an excellent job. To finish 4th or tied for 4th in the ACC tells you that they're good, because those 3 that finished above them are big-time programs, and I think all of them got to host.
Hey, Coach. Samaya Smith and Jersey yesterday, and then you also went big with Aaliyah. Just what did you see from them, and what's their importance in this game in particular?
We were the bigger team yesterday, so they all had an opportunity to have a presence in the paint, whether that was blocking shots, rebounding the ball, or demanding the ball. I still don't think we demand the ball good enough or hard enough from those 3. But it was good to see Aaliyah have some success. She's the biggest body I have in there, and I thought she not only battled in there, I thought she finished. She finished in there. They're going to have their hands full tomorrow, because Timpson's can get up and down the floor. She's an athlete. She can get you up in the air. They're built about the same. Samaya is. Morrow may have to guard her some if I go small. You just got to battle.
Flage said that she felt like a lot of the players are kind of figuring out their role. Do you feel like this team is kind of clicking at the right time?
I hope so. I thought our bench yesterday was special. And I don't just mean Gilbert, because that's who you think of when you think of our bench, but she was 0 for 9. It was the things they did from the scouting report that if it was switching on a certain staggered screen, they listened and they did things. I thought we played with a lot of excitement. And part of that, well, probably all of it is because it's the NCAA playoffs, but it was having Flage back out there who just brings a joyfulness about her that spreads to everybody else. And it's if you can play like that, you never know what can happen.
Do you have a key to an LSU victory tomorrow? Like, if we do this right, we win the game?
We do, but you're from Tallahassee, so I don't want Florida State to know. Nice try.
Kyle Tannelbaum, USA Today. You mentioned that multiple people will have the assignment of guarding Tanaya Latson. Who will those people be, and how do you plan on reducing her impact?
Well, transition defense, I can't dictate to you who it will be, but it's going to be somebody on the perimeter. When she has the ball in her hands, it could be Poa, it could be Flage, depending on who's in the game. It could be Shy, it could be Michaela. Miracle's our defensive stopper, so I can't just tell you specifically who's going to end up on her. Dead ball situation, certainly it'll be me looking at who's in the game and go, you make sure you stay with her right here. But they all know their assignment. And she's such a tremendous player. She is going to get her points. She shoots it 20 times a game. She's going to get her points. What you have to do is try your best to contain her where she doesn't hit 50 on you. And then don't let the unexpected player have an all-world game. And they're so talented that you just really have to know you can focus on her, but you really have to be very cognizant of those others that score in double figures.
Miracle seems like she's kind of come into her own. When she first started, she was a little bit wild, but she just seems so poised. What would you attribute that to?
I hate it for Miracle when we started because she had the stress reaction in her foot that set her back about 6 weeks. Well, we're moving on, and so she got behind. And she tried to play catch-up, and when you try to play catch-up, you try to do things quickly, and it just snowballs, and you'll have a turnover. She has just worked her way methodically back to this point. She is a defensive she just does good things defensively. She's very solid and sound. She never changes her expression. She never gets too high and never gets too down on herself. She's got the size that she could guard the big perimeter player. I will move her inside if necessary and go small like I do Michaela. I haven't done much of that, but I could. She is always around the basketball. You'll see her cut and bail a teammate out. And she's got some basketball savvy about her.
Any other questions? One more here.
Hi, Coach. Just kind of moving away from all the FSU stuff. Tournament record with 6 games with over 100 points. Is there anything you can contribute that overall trend to?
Are you talking about across the country, people scoring in the hundreds, or what we did last night? Well, maybe just matchups were lopsided. I do know this. I was talking to a friend, and we talk about parity in the game, but if you look, there was no upsets. Am I right? So really, is there much parity? I don't know. That was, a comment that was made to me, and it was so late last night, I didn't even know when I woke up this morning who had won some of the games. But that comment makes you wonder, is there really that much parity anymore if you don't have any upsets? I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Coach, thanks for your time.
All right, guys.
LSU practice at 2 o'clock. Game tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We'll be back here in 15 minutes with Florida State. Until then, have a good afternoon. All right, we welcome you back to Baton Rouge as we're set now to talk to Florida State, set to face LSU tomorrow night, 5 o'clock here in Baton Rouge at the Maravich Assembly Center. To my immediate left, we have Tanaya Latson. In the middle there, Omariah Gordon. And on the far left, Michaela Timpson. For those joining us on Zoom, welcome. Please tap your hand-raised icon if you'd like to ask a question. And then for those in person, please raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you. Introduce yourself and your affiliation and address your question to the players. With that, let's open it up.
Kyle Teitelbaum, USA Today. Tanaya, a few moments ago in LSU's press conference, they said that you require all 5 on the floor to guard you. What does that level of respect mean to you, and how do you plan on adjusting to the different looks that might throw your way?
It means a lot. A lot of teams game plan for me, so I'm not really surprised by that statement. Just get my teammates involved, and, we're going to shoot a lot of threes, and we're going to, get in the paint, too, with KK. So just get my teammates involved, and it'll open up the floor for me.
Anybody? Jump in. Water's warm. Come on.
Tatum Esparza, USA Today. Tonight, you played against Flage in high school. Can you talk about her individual play and what it was like going up against her, and what do you plan to bring to the game tomorrow?
Yeah, me and Flage go way back. We used to train together a little bit too. So she's a phenomenal player. She's grown. She's stronger now. She's bigger now. She can shoot the ball. And she's always great to play against. She's a good person too off the court too. So I'm going to enjoy playing against Flage and LSU tomorrow.
Amanda Golson, WVFS. How does it feel for, you two are seniors, just being here, seeing this next game and, getting over that hump of winning the first game that you guys have battled for the last couple of years?
I would say it just means a lot, Like you said, we battled a couple of years, but, to get that first win yesterday, it was incredible just to get our university back where we started. So I'm just excited to go into the game tomorrow and have a lot of confidence in my team.
Chessa Boucher with NBC 33 here in Baton Rouge. You guys play a similar brand of basketball as does LSU. What do you expect to see from them tomorrow?
I expect them to just attack, to shoot a lot of threes and play a lot of 1v1 because they have really good players. In the post, from guards to point guards, they have it all, So I expect them to try to rip it down our throats, but, we have to come out and be strong and be confident on the defensive end, get rebounds, and play our game.
Jacques Doucet, WAPTV in Baton Rouge. Unlike the men's game, you have to go on an opposing floor to go up against an opposing fan base. Do you feel like you're prepared for that, the games you played during the regular season and so forth? How do you approach that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. In the ACC, it's a lot of great fan bases from NC State, Notre Dame. So we're used to those type of environments. So we're not really, scared to go against LSU and their crowd. But, we do have our work cut out for us. They're a great team, a well-coached team. So we're just excited for the opportunity tomorrow, and, we're trying to get this win.
You guys got off to a quick start yesterday. How important is it going to be to replicate that again tomorrow?
I would say it's very important. LSU, they're a good basketball team. They're well coached, but we got to have that energy from the start, and that's what's going to make it a good game for us. I'm excited to play tomorrow.
Amari, you want to add anything? I'm trying to keep everybody involved. You want to jump in?
Like KK said, we gotta come from the start. We gotta play 40 whole minutes. This time of year, there's 32 teams left, and obviously everybody has the same goals. Everybody wants to go to the Sweet 16 right now, so we want to separate ourselves from everybody else, and we're gonna play 40 minutes to do so.
You guys are the high-scoring trio in the country, but here at LSU, they have the big three. Does it excite you as a competitor to basically show what y'all are made of?
Oh yeah, definitely. They have a great big three. From Michaela Williams, Flage Johnson, and Anissa Moreau. So we got our work cut out for us, like we said. They're a phenomenal team. But we got to come in with confidence and play 40 minutes, like O said, and be aggressive.
Not only starting out strong, but ending strong. You guys had 31 in the fourth yesterday. Amari, you had 9 of those. What does that say about your team's ability to finish strong and how that's going to translate to tomorrow?
Honestly, we did very well on the offensive end in the fourth quarter, but it started with our defense. I don't know how many points he held them to in the fourth quarter, but I know it wasn't many at all. Yeah, so our defense is what's going to really determine the game and rebounding at the end of the game.
Anybody? Back there?
Corey Diaz with the Daily Advertiser and USA Today. For any and all, do you guys prefer high-scoring games? Is that something that sort of fits your system and how you want to play? Or, when would you rather it be more of a defensive battle?
I would say that's kind of what we prefer. I would say. I mean, we play fast and we don't really know how to play slow. So, I mean, we just get out and run and do what we're supposed to do on offense.
Anybody? One last call for anybody? Nobody online? Brett?
LSU did mention that they do like to dictate their own pace and slow the game down sometimes, work the ball around on offense and so forth. I mean, do you see this is obviously a game between teams that can do some of the same things, but in some ways, do you expect there to be moments of the game where there are contrasting styles and you're having to try to adjust to each other and figure out, how to go through that?
Yeah, definitely. They're super handsy and physical defensively. They come and help, and they dig, and they're, like I said, they're super physical and big. So we have to be strong, and we have to limit our turnovers. That's the keys to the game. So if we win that battle, we'll be okay.
And what have you guys usually done, or how do you feel like you've handled the team? Do you find a lot of teams trying to slow you down with pressing and stuff like that to disrupt your rhythm, and that doesn't seem to have worked? Why do you think that is?
I think that's because we just continue to play us, to continue to be us, no matter what defense a team throws at us, whether that's full court press or whether that's a zone. We have to continue to just be us, shoot threes, continue to attack the gaps, and work around it.
Anybody else for the players?
I have one more from Michaela.
Okay.
What did you guys? Did you stay and watch LSU last night? I guess.
A little bit, yeah. We watched the first half of the game.
What do you think of their paint play? And it's interesting because they have some women with size, but then they also obviously have Anissa Morrow working down there, kind of undersized, very feisty player.
You asked me.
Yeah, what do you think the kind of challenge they present in the paint for a player like you?
I would say, I mean, they play inside out. I mean, it's gonna be physical down there, so I just have to compete and do what I can for my teammates. That's what I would say. Do it to the best of my ability and be able to represent this team.
In last night's game for LSU, their bench stepped up like they hadn't really all year. Is there anything maybe that have surprised you guys as y'all got ready and scouted for today?
No, not really. They're a really good team. We were expecting their bench to come off, and they're really deep too. So that's what makes that team so special. They have a lot of good guards and posts that can come off the bench and give them really great minutes and score a lot of points. So they're super deep, and we just got to wear them down, and as they will try to do to us. So just got to compete.
Tanaya, you drove and got to the rack with ease yesterday. Do you think it's going to be more difficult to do the same thing on Monday, and how will that alter your approach?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They're more handsy. They're more, like Kimoki said, or what LSU said. They said that they need 5 players to, stop me from getting to the basket. I know they're going to try to pack the paint because that's where I get most of my shots. But, just get my teammates involved will obviously help me, get to the basket more easily.
Is there a team that you guys face this year that plays similarly to LSU?
I would say maybe Tennessee. They have a different style of play, but I would definitely say when it comes to players and being in an SEC and being big and having guards that are versatile and post players that are versatile, I would say Tennessee for sure. And even though we lost that game, it was a great game and it gave us a great challenge and it prepared us for moments like this.
We're good. Last call. Anybody? Ladies, thank you very much. Congratulations again. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You bet. We'll be back in about 9-10 minutes with Florida State's head coach. Welcome back to Baton Rouge, everybody. Final interview today on this Sunday. We are joined by head coach Brooke Wyckoff from Florida State. As always, you're joining us via Zoom. Welcome. Please hit the hand raise toggle. We'll come to you. And for those here in person, please introduce yourself, your affiliation. And with that, we will open up the floor to questions for Brooke.
Chessa Boucher with NBC 33 here in Baton Rouge. Two teams that play a very similar brand of basketball, like to score the ball. What do you expect to see from LSU tomorrow night?
I expect it to be an exciting game, just because of what you just mentioned. That we've got two teams that that are loaded with talent, individual talent, and play really well together as a team. And so, on the offensive and defensive end for both teams, they do exciting things. I mean, these are really fun players to watch, and so I'm expecting a great game from both teams, and as it should be at this point in the tournament.
Amanda Golson, WVFS. Florida State beat LSU the last time that they played here in 2019. The attendance for that game was 647. Obviously quite different now. What are you looking forward to this time around?
Yeah, Coach Mulkey's done a fantastic job since she's been here, and just getting the community and the fans back involved, and so it's always fun to play in front of a crowd, and obviously it'll be probably somewhat of a hostile environment, but that's what LSU has earned, at this top 4 seed with their 3 seed, being able to play in front of their fans. So we're used to that. We've played in front of a lot of great crowds this season on the road, and had some success. So it just makes it exciting, and I'm really, really glad for the game and for LSU's program that there's such a great following and excitement.
Kyle Teitelbaum, you said today, what do you think you need to see from Tanaya in the offense tomorrow in order to come out with the win?
Yeah. I want to see Tanaya be Tanaya, just be herself. She's such a phenomenal player, and can do so many things. And so just when she's attacking with pace and just really focused on getting the basket and shooting threes with confidence and getting the free throw line, she's got it under control. And I know that she's used to these big games, and so really looking to do whatever it takes. That's what she's great at, is doing whatever it takes to get her team a win. And she's locked in on the defensive end as well, I know. So just want Tanaya to be Tanaya.
Brett Martell with Associated Press. When you look at the amount of points that you and LSU scored last night, and the margins of victories in both games, what do you make of that? Like, how do you think that sets the stage for the character of a game that people might watch tomorrow?
Yeah, I think people like to see scoring. I mean, it's fun to watch the ball go in the basket, and for players to score points in all the different ways that they're able to do. And that's what I said. We've got a lot of individual talent in this game tomorrow. Just players that are so dynamic and skilled and able to put the ball in the basket. So I think, that it set the stage really, really well. You see the scores from yesterday. And so you're excited knowing that there does have to be some defense played tomorrow too. That's going to be a huge key. And LSU is a fantastic defensive team, fantastic rebounding team. And we are really locked in on the defensive end as well. We have to get stops in order to have a chance to win this game, so we can get out and run and transition. So, I think it just sets the stage for what's going to be a really fun basketball game.
Hey, Coach, Jacques Doucet, WAP here in Baton Rouge. I was talking to Coach Starkey a while ago, and he talked about applying for a job at Florida State with Coach Sue years back, and somebody else got it. That was you. But he spoke very highly of you and said, obviously, it was the right choice. You're the head coach now. Do you have any memories of that? And how well do you know Coach Starkey?
I know him pretty well. I've seen him on the road, obviously, talked to him many times. He is, and I think Coach Mulkey said it recently, like, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. He is one of the just stars in the coaching profession on the women's side for sure, and has had such a great history. So I've obviously always looked up to him, who he is as a coach and what he knows, but he's just a great person. So yes, I had nothing to do with any of that. I was just, a kid out there that happened to be a former FSU player. I think that was what pushed me over the edge. It certainly wasn't my coaching pedigree that helped me win that job over him, but everything works out the way it should. He's had a phenomenal career, and will, I'm sure, for many, many years, as long as he wants to.
Natalie Heverin with the next. Both teams are really talented at rebounding. How much do you think that's going to play into a game that is going to have a lot of offense tomorrow?
Yeah, it's going to be a huge piece. I mean, for us, it's trying to do our very, very best on the defensive end of the floor against the best offensive rebounding team in the country and the best offensive rebounder in the country in Anissa Morrow. So we have our work cut out for us. As do that, I mean, we're going to get a lot of shots up, as you're saying. These are two teams that want to get the ball, get shots up and score points. So that means probably a lot of rebounds. So it's a huge key for us. And again, we're not going to be able to get every single defensive rebound, but if we don't, we got to just keep playing and make shots tough. It's just keep going, knowing that they're a phenomenal offensive rebounding team.
Reed Darcy with the Advocate in Baton Rouge. Coach, I wanted to ask you about your offense. What sets it apart? What has allowed it to become so productive this season?
Well, I've got to credit our players. That we have the talent on this team to score a lot of points. First and foremost, you need that. You need players that are capable. We want to play with pace and space. We want to obviously be the fastest team in the country, not just score the most points. And so, really, that just comes down to players that are able to take the ball and go get a layup first and foremost, and then players that can also shoot the three. So when we're going to attack for a layup and we draw multiple defenders, we have people on the perimeter ready to score. So you just need players that can do that, honestly. The second thing that leads to our ability to score is our defense. We're best when we're in transition offense, and that means we're not taking the ball out of basket and inbounding it. We're getting stops, we're getting steals, we're getting rebounds, and getting out and running. So those are the things that we key in on to really try to score that amount of points. But it comes down to the players' talent and their ability just to lock into and buy into our system.
You've talked all season about your team's ability to respond, going off 2 losses and then a 2-week break. What went into getting that response you were looking for yesterday?
Yeah, I think we had a great time to reflect and disconnect a little bit. This is a long season. I mean, these athletes are, the basketball season is the longest season in college athletics, and so and it's hard, especially when you're playing in conferences that have so many strong teams, and you're playing 2 conference games a week. You're traveling. They have schoolwork. They have all the things that pull at the mental, the physical, the emotional. So being able to have that break in between the conference tournament and our game yesterday was huge for us, for our players, and they're just a veteran group that they have a big goal in mind. So being able to refresh and then come back focused, ready to make this run. They knew that's what that's them. They came back with that focus and ready to respond. So
now that you've gotten the opportunity to scout LSU from their win last night, is there anything that stood out to you?
Well, that was a great game they played last night. It was fun to watch. But no, just they look really, really good. They look like they're together. They look focused. They were just really keyed in on rebounding and getting great shots. I thought they got really, really good shots, inside and outside. And so, they looked like a team that's ready to go. And so I didn't expect anything less, and so we knew that and we know that, and we're preparing to see a team like that tomorrow.
Hello, Coach. Tana Esparza, USA Today. So Flage and Tanaya have both played against each other in high school previously. What are you kind of expecting to see from both of them tomorrow night when it comes to matching up? How will Tanaya defend her if she will? And can you just expand on that matchup more?
Yeah. Oh, it's been they've had battles over the years, and I know they know each other, and they go way back, and so they're 2 great competitors. I think they're 2 of the most highly competitive people in the game, the college game right now. And so I'm excited for a great matchup. There are 2 players that neither are going to back down. But they're just going to play within themselves. I think that's what you see from the kids that are in their 3rd year of college. They understand what this is. They understand who they are as a basketball player. They understand their team and what this is, the NCAA tournament stage. So I think, you're going to see 2 leaders that are going to do what they need to do to win for their team. So I'm sure we'll see some great one-on-one battles there. Yeah, it'll be fun.
LSU moved the ball around really well last night and penetrated through the zone. What's your defensive scheme going to be to just try to reduce their impact and keep the ball, in one side of the court, really?
Yeah, I mean, we've got our work cut out for us. And just in terms of, I think the biggest thing will be our transition defense and then our physicality. They're athletic, they're strong, and they did share the ball well. But, we've got a couple different game plans that will show, and you can't do the same thing the whole game, definitely. But we'll be, just ready to protect and give it our best shot. But definitely transition defense and being physical. Finishing with a rebound.
Coach, just want to get your thoughts on Morrow and the way she plays as an undersized player.
She's phenomenal. I love watching her, and it's just obviously she's so talented. But you just see the joy that she has in playing. You see the hunger. You see the just the passion that she plays with. It's really fun to watch and to see what she's able to do, and just rebounding wise, scoring wise, and doing it within, for her team and within herself. And so, I've loved watching her career. She's got a great future ahead of her too. And just really love just her passion really stands out to me.
You have the word one written on the practice shirts. How important is it to have a motto like that kind of just through the long stretch of the season and into this postseason?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Our players came up with that. That was their idea. They came together to figure out what they wanted our team motto to be this year and what we wanted to see posted all over the place on our shirts and just throughout and to say in the huddles. And one is, for them, it means togetherness first and foremost. And they're a team that's so united and so together and for each other. But then, you can use it for lots of different things. We hashtag one, all kinds of things. One play, one game, one possession. And so, one season, it kind of works for a lot of different things. But I just love that it came from them and it was about being a great team.
I just want to ask you your thoughts on the growth of the game and the opportunities for the athletes now that they didn't have before. LSU's got a rapper on their team.
Yeah.
That's, all these different things that are happening now.
It's so exciting. As a former player, who's been in the shoes of these young women as a college athlete, it's really fun to see what the attention to the game and women's sports in general, and then in college sports, has brought just the opportunities for these players these young people that put so much into this. I mean, the level of athlete that they are, and how good they are, how talented they are, it comes from working. It comes from putting in the time, and they've been putting in the time for years and years before they've even gotten to college. So the other thing I love about the opportunities they're getting to capitalize on NIL is that it gets the word out about women's basketball and these athletes, and so now you're inspiring more young people and more young girls and even young boys to do these things, to achieve whatever they put their mind to. So that's what I've loved to see, and I'm excited to see it continue to grow.
Anything else? One more, Brett?
Does it seem weird that a team with one as a motto scores 90 points a game? And but more, that's the first question if you want to address it, but it's kind of a joke. But the other thing is, in terms of sports psychology, I mean, you can rationalize anything. You'll hear some coaches say, "Oh, I'm glad we were tested and survived in the first round." Neither of these teams were, at least not in the fourth quarter. It was what is good though about rolling to a convincing first round victory before going into maybe a tougher.
Yeah, I think, it gives you confidence, and with it's not, you don't have to play the day after, but it's a pretty quick turnaround. And so when you can win convincingly like that, it gives you confidence. I mean, again, we haven't played in 2 weeks, so to be able to come out, shake the rust off a little bit, and then to figure things out, especially in that fourth quarter, going into this next game, I think it's a good feeling. yes, we don't want to just be about emotion and feeling, but it does help. We got to really lock into the details and game plan, but also you want to feel good. You want to feel confident going into this second round game. So I think that's what it does.
We're all good. Hey, enjoy another night of good
Thank
South
you.
Louisiana food, and
Thank
good
you.
luck tomorrow.
Not too much.
Plenty, huh?
Thank
Brooke,
you.
Brooke, thank you so much. A reminder for the media room closes at 5 o'clock tonight, opens at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Tip is 5 p.m. Central. We'll see you tomorrow night around 7:30 here in Baton Rouge. Until then, have a great Sunday.